Crypto Coach, CoinDCX. Learn karo, crypto karo.
This test series, which has given us all, which has been full of twists and turns, goes into its final innings, staying true to the tenet of the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy. It is hard to call. England are chasing 374. India are now 9 wickets away. Will the series end level? Will England win the series? There's so many questions going into day 4 at the Oval. Welcome to CoinDCX presents ESPN Cricinfo Matchday. Sanjay Bangar will answer those and more questions. Sir, thank you for your time. It's called Moving Day, Day 3. Has the test match moved more towards India at the end of it?
Yeah, without a doubt, because India with that big lead, and I must say that those two contributions or partnerships down the order between Dhruv Jurel, Ravindra Jadeja, and then Washington Sundar and Prasidh Krishna, those contributions are vital. Otherwise, England with 320 odd to chase and with the kind of start they've had, I think India certainly are in a much better position because of those lower order contributions.
Yes, 273 for 6 was the score when Yashasvi Jaiswal fell. That was a lead of squarely 250. But then 123 runs added after that. And there are so many batting layers to talk about from this day that India have had. I guess it makes sense to start from an India batting appreciation on the whole. They're done with their batting for this Anderson Tendulkar Trophy and they have created a raft of records. It's the highest series tally by a team in a 5-match series. It's the joint most hundreds by a team in a series. It's the most 50-plus scores in a series. And for this new generation of batters going into the last chapter of a long tour and making it a prolific one, just a very sweet feeling.
A very sweet feeling indeed, and also shows a lot of character from the entire group because at no point they were willing to throw in the towel, and irrespective of the conditions, these are runs and which are vital runs, and everybody has chipped in at some point in time. And Akash, it was a very brave call to send him as a night watchman when you have batting depth till number 8, but that also fell in favor of the team and made to look so good by Akashdeep's thoughtfulness, I must say, because it was not just he wasn't really going hell for the leather, but there was a lot of method in what he did. He was quite happy to play to certain plans as well, batted defensively, batted aggressively, ran well between the wickets. Credit to Yashasvi Jaiswal as well in that partnership, that he could really get the best out of Akashdeep. So all in all, those contributions are vital in the eventual outcome of the game.
Yes, so let's start as far as individuals go with the real batting star that was unleashed on the day, because in Akashdeep, India had a night watcher who made a 50. The first time that's happened for India in Tests since 2011. A century stand between Akashdeep and Jaiswal as well. What stood out to you, and were the conditions challenging? Because a lot of people will look at the scorecard and say, okay, wait, everyone's made runs, but they weren't easy runs for Akashdeep.
Not at all, and the thing is that except for the 1 over, he batted the entire innings against pace bowlers, and here are 3 of the best pace bowlers that England could put up, and the conditions were helpful, and those have been helpful right throughout the 3 days that the test match has been played on. And he was thoughtful in the sense that he was very sure in his defense, and even when the field was probably put for the short ball, when they had 6 or 7 fielders on the onside, he was happy to duck under those short pitch balls or even defend it when required. And once the field was up, he could also play the pull shot, and then guided a few past third man area, and you do require a little bit of luck which came his way, but he made the most of it. So critical for Akashdeep because of that effort. I think they literally took away the wins from the bowling lineup of England, because they had to toil very, very hard. Had it not been for that particular partnership or the contribution of Akashdeep, who knows, India would have been dismissed slightly earlier, because the bowlers would have been fresher and their third or fourth spells would have been more incisive. So he made the job of the batters to follow way, way easier.
Now we know that India now love having batting till number 8. The next time they're in a test series in conditions such as the Sena conditions, has Akashdeep thrown himself up as a more than viable option to bat at number 8 and still have 4 quality seamers.
Certainly, and not only that, there's another layer to it, is that if Jadeja can bat so well, get 500 runs in a series in England, Washington Sundar can bat in various fashions at various numbers and effectively as well, then Akashdeep is a useful number 8, and it's not only this innings that I'm talking of. Even in the Brisbane Test match, when India had to avert the follow-on, at that point in time, he was quite brave on that particular surface as well, which was quite tricky. So he's shown enough heart and gumption to make the team management think that, okay, can this be a combination as well? So he's certainly thrown in an option.
All right, let's also talk about his younger batting partner who was playing second fiddle to him, because Yashasvi Jaiswal was able to secure his 6th Test 100, his 4th against England. And it will be an innings that would have given him immense satisfaction for the factor of not having had second innings runs on this tour before this, and also the gears we saw, 1 gear end of day 2 and a more stable gear on day 3.
Yeah, he has all the gears. Like I was very impressed with his innings in the first outing at Manchester. Absolutely brilliant stuff from an opening batter's point of view in under seaming and swinging conditions. So he can curtail his natural instincts, and when it matters, he can also be quite assertive. And at times, that at the top of the order, I remember when Virendra Sehwag used to give those starts, things looked differently for the dressing room, as also the entire energy of the dressing room changed. So it's not only the impact that he has for himself, but also makes that job easier for the batsman to follow. So that's the value of the contribution that he gives at the start when he bats in an aggressive fashion, and when he bats in a slightly controlled manner, you could also see that he can bring the best out of a lower order batter, which he did with Akashdeep. And after lunch, he again switched to that assertive manner. So for a player to have all those understanding, and also this was probably the first instance for him to having played a 5-match series, and 5 matches which are literally going down to the wire. So he would know now how to probably manage his mental energies better in the second innings as well. So what it takes to last a 5-match series and still keep your motivation, your concentration going could be a massive learning for Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Yeah, the fact that so early in his career, he has now in the last 8 months had a tough tour of Australia, 5 matches, but I get your point that those weren't matches that went the distance. But he finished that series with nearly 400 runs. He's finished this series with more than 400 runs. So great signs there.
Terrific signs. And for me, I think after a long time, India has a batsman, an opening batsman batting in Test match, who is equally capable of excelling in white ball cricket. And it's a huge advantage for any Test opener if he's playing white ball cricket as well simultaneously along with the Indian team, because it can actually even out the ups and downs of the international circuit, and he can actually be a very prolific scorer in all the formats that he played. So not straight away, but at least should be in the squad and should be part of the schemes in white ball cricket as well, because this is a rare quality, this is a rare talent.
Well done, Yashasvi Jaiswal. Already has 300s in Australia and England. Only 2 Indian openers have more, and one of them is Jaiswal's present partner, KL Rahul. So these are good times for Indian batting. Lower down the order, as Mr. Bangar mentioned, there were vital contributions in the context of the game from Jadeja and Washington Sundar. I want to spend a minute on Washington Sundar's innings, because now if we look at the last 2 second innings he's played, we saw the batting for the draw, the patience at Manchester, and now we've seen this. There were 36 of 23 he hit once Prasidh Krishna joined him after the fall of the 9th wicket. These are great signs.
And that's where you admire the qualities and the skill sets of the current Indian batting or the current set of players, wherein they can switch so quickly between maybe a Test format and a T20 format. Because what you saw in the last wicket partnership was, striking abilities of Washington Sundar, and in those areas wherein he had initially had restrictive areas to score, because he was very strong through the offside of whatever I remember of him in the earlier times. but he's also developed a very good leg side game as well. So he's opened up scoring areas, and the very fact that he had that mindset of helping India to extend that lead and play in that cavalier manner means here is a guy who is willing to do various things for his team. Bat at 5, bat at 7, bat at 9, bowl when required, and is a useful fielder as well.
Yeah, when you put all these things together, and it's only a sample of 13 tests, but he's made these contributions, a lot of which have come in tough away tests. Do you already have the makings of an all-rounder who could be greatly serviceable to Indian cricket for a long period of time?
Yes, certainly, and not only at home but even overseas, because when India was only playing one spinner, you could see that Ravindra Jadeja played the major number of test matches in recent times, but now Jadeja, at where he is in terms of age, and if and when the time comes when he moves on, you certainly have a player who can very quickly progress in the role that Jadeja is doing for the team now. So I think the follow on, or the bench strength, if you can say, if that is the right word, is really looking good as far as India's overseas combination is concerned.
All right. So good signs, good tidings for India's batting, India's all-round depth. All of that has combined to pose a 374 run target for England, which will be 111 more than the highest that has ever been successfully chased down at the Oval in the long history of Test cricket at this ground. 50 for 1 it finishes. That wicket of Crawley to end the day changes the mood going into the final, not the final day, but going into day 4.
It does to an extent, because England are always in a happier position when the openers are doing some fantastic stuff, and they applied themselves really well on that pitch after being out there for close to 90 overs of fielding, and really showed some good defensive technique as well. It's not only that they were trying to go hard at the ball all the time, defensive methods or boundary protecting placements as well, which was very good from India. So they were happy to ride over the time, and it just that it takes Siraj's mammoth effort and his imagination again, because that is a ball which is very similar to a ball which maybe a Harmison bowled at one of the Australian batters, at back of the hand slower ball, and to have that sort of a thought process, because as we had discussed earlier, that he uses the Yorker more often against the left-handers, but here he used it against a right-hander so early in his spell. So pushing that square leg back and slipping in that quick Yorker means, once again, you have to doff your hat to Siraj.
Yeah, India managed to keep Crawley and Duckett to 3.6 per over, which is good for Test cricket, but it's half of what they operated at in the first innings. So that's one part of it done well for India. But the keys for India to find success and get through the remaining English wickets on a surface which has eased up to bat on?
It has to an extent. The outfield has also quickened up quite well, and that's the reason I feel that Joe Root's wicket is going to be massive. Ben Duckett seems to be very much in his zone, and he's putting good balls away. So even in that particular partnership, you see he's already raised to 30 plus, whereas Zach Crawley was a little bit snailish in his approach if you compare his earlier innings. Ollie Pope, that could be an interesting one, but I do feel that the Indian bowlers have his number, but it's Joe Root's wicket which is going to matter quite a bit. So India will have to pick up some early wickets tomorrow in the first session itself, because if they don't pick up early wickets, then the game may also see spin being playing a bigger part, which ideally India would not want to use a lot more, because you didn't really see too much of turn on offer. So first innings or first session of the 4th day is going to be critical. Let's hope that India can pick 3, which will make their job easier in session 2 and session 3.
Okay, let's have some fun. Is this ending on day 4?
I want to make it more interesting, because this series has been going that way, and you saw that when 192 to get. India were 4 down and somehow couldn't cross the line. When India was 2 down without scoring and 5 sessions to play, India still managed to go out and bat all those 5 sessions quite well. So I think this test match is going to day 5. How about that?
Oh wow. So somehow neither will all the wickets fall, nor will England
So I
get the 320 runs they need.
So let's look at this thing. So 7 wickets falling and 50 to get. So 8 in all and 50 to get with two wickets in hand.
Which effectively means 1 wicket in hand for England with no Chris Woakes.
But I might just make it far more interesting as well. So
He walks out
to bat as the 11th batter when maybe a set batter is there and maybe 30 to get. So this is going to be tantalizing stuff.
Under normal circumstances, I would have said this is the script of fantasy, but this series has been beyond that. So, wow. If Mr. Bangar's words are true, apply for your leaves or your sick leaves for Monday because, well, this test match would be a humdinger. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for your time. Look forward to your company at the end of day 4. Join us then and let's see which way this finally turns.
क्रिप्टो कोच CoinDCX लर्न करो क्रिप्टो करो